I want you to imagine that you're walking into a room and everybody knows your name and is really excited to have you there. That's the power that good conversations can have. I don't just mean that you're a funny guy, everyone likes you. I mean that you are able to have a deeper connection with the people in your life. Hello, and welcome to Premier Motivation. I'm Remy. I am the head mental coach here at Premier, and today I want to talk about how to have meaningful conversations. So, before we dive into how to have the meaningful conversation, we need to define what a meaningful conversation is and why you should have it. This is what the best definition I've been able to come up with for a meaningful conversation. A meaningful conversation is one in which two parties are able to connect on something deeper than just surface level. An example of this might be when you meet somebody who went to the same school as you. Of course, you had that shared memory, but what you're looking for more so is the idea of what was your favorite part of school? How did you feel about this teacher? These things are enabling to have other people know a more vulnerable or deeper part of us. As human beings, we evolved to be neurologically inclined, we'll say, to connect with each other. It's the natural way that humans evolved, and we get deep satisfaction and social retribution for being able to be connected in that way. One of the most important things within all people for the longevity of health, of happiness, of pretty much anything is social connection. There's an island off the coast of Japan called Okinawa where some of the oldest people live. Of course, they have a healthy diet and they get some exercise, but the number one factor that has been accredited to their long life has been quality social interaction. Being close with one's neighbor, being able to connect on that deeper level isn't just good for the sake of connecting, but it neurologically has an effect and physically can affect you to reduce stress, increase happiness, neurochemicals, of course. But it has a much deeper effect than many people are led to believe, and that's why it's so essential and so powerful to be able to have meaningful conversations with others whenever possible. So now, let's look at how to actually connect with someone. Let's say you want to meet a stranger. You see somebody at the gym, on the road, on your walk, and you're thinking, okay, I want to connect with this person. How am I going to be able to do it? There's a couple ways to think about this. First of all, there's 3 types of conversations. There are emotional, practical, and social. Emotional conversations and practical conversations are 2 very different things. For example, imagine your partner comes home from work and they're incredibly upset. They say that, oh, I don't like this person annoying. And if the other party responds, if you respond in a way such as, well, why don't you just spend less time with them? What you're really saying is that there's a solution and that the other person is wrong. Oftentimes, that doesn't end well. I don't have to tell you that. What would be beneficial is if your partner comes in, they say they've had a terrible day, this person's really annoying them, is to match emotionally what they are saying. Give them empathy, right? You don't need to validate what they're saying, but let them feel heard. Same thing can be said about a practical conversation. If someone comes in and they are looking for we need to get this by this date, right? With numbers and hard facts, by going into an emotional, well, you never do this or that doesn't happen, so we can't do it, it spreads the scale of what you're looking at. Being able to match the two conversations, having an emotional conversation together versus having a practical conversation together versus having just a social conversation together. It never goes well when somebody just wants to chat and catch up when someone else starts bringing up business. Conversational styles don't mix. That's why it's the best to match as well as you can the type of conversation that's going on. It may seem like you're just submitting to what other people are throwing at you, but in reality, when you can help the other person feel heard, you're going to feel heard yourself, and you will be able to bring up all the points you need and to help that person. So, let's talk about how to connect. The number one thing that I have found beneficial for myself when connecting with others, speaking, teaching, whatever it may be, is to become genuinely interested in the other person. Think about what they are looking to hear from you. Why did they come to talk to you? Or why did you come to talk to them? Right? Having a clearly defined purpose in your own mind about what a conversation is for allows you to not get sucked into different waves and the ebb and flow of the conversation, right? If you need to hear, for example, an answer from somebody about when you need to go to work the next day, it doesn't do you any good to start talking about something totally random. Get the business out of the way. It's a practical conversation. That being said, if you approach them and you can tell that they're not in that mood, indulge them. Nobody is ever looking to simply just hear facts all the time. We're emotional creatures as human beings. It's important to allow give and take within your conversations. It may seem selfless and almost as if you are not doing enough for yourself by giving others more, but in reality, when you do give more of yourself to others, you'll receive more as well. The same thing can be said in conversations. Become genuinely interested in others, and they will be genuinely interested in you. To ask more questions. Not asking questions of others in a, what's your favorite color? Where'd you go to school? Type fashion. You're really looking for a deeper level question, as we mentioned previously. Asking how people feel and bringing their emotions and their thoughts into it is a great way to connect better. When somebody is giving emotion or giving thought, what that does is it's creating a vulnerability within them. It's something that could, in theory, be attacked. It's not going to be, though. When you can share that vulnerability and see it within others and share it within yourself to others, what you're saying to them is, we can work together stronger. There is an ability within us to trust each other now, and with that trust, we can then get to really deep topics. Of course, you don't need to go into a conversation with the goal of wondering what's this person's end goal in life. Sometimes you just want to find out how their day is going or how you can help. That being said, slowly building up to deeper and deeper conversations can be quite rewarding in many cases. The best way to do it is to start by asking for emotions. How did that make you feel? If you could change something, what would it have been? The interpretations and the deeper questions have been shown not only to have a deeper impact for the person asking, but for the person answering as well. It allows others to get much deeper connections with each other and to have that ability to trust and to then furthermore create with each other. Another important point about connection is that when we want something from someone, we want them to change their mind, we want to help with something, oftentimes what we do is butt heads. Emotionally, when one person is connected to an idea that, no, this can't happen, and you want them to change, you're never going to get anywhere by just arguing. The best way in order to change somebody's mind is to ask them questions. Ask how they feel about this topic. Is there something deeper that there's a reason why they can't say yes? Is there something that's irrational? Whenever we try to prove somebody else wrong, it's more than just the practical facts of it. It's really the emotional and egocentric idea that I am right and I can't just say I'm wrong. You will get some people who are confident enough to admit they're wrong, but it's a lot easier if you can get people to say I'm wrong on their own accord. Let them take their own path to get there. Don't force them down it. A great way to do that is to ask them questions. Help them to arrive at their own conclusion. And when they eventually do accept that you're right and they were wrong, don't force it on them. Don't rub it in. It doesn't do anyone any benefit for you to stroke your own ego and for the other person to be shattered. The converse is also true. When you are wrong, don't be afraid to say, I'm wrong. Admit it. Because it's much easier for you to be, hey, I'm wrong, guys, than for someone else to say, you're wrong, you don't know what you're doing, you were stupid because of X, Y, Z, right? That doesn't do you any good. Does them a little bit of good in the moment, but in the end, you're not going to be able to come back into that conversation with the same mindset as you did before. I want you to imagine that you're walking into a room and everybody knows your name and is really excited to have you there. That's the power that good conversations can have. I don't just mean that you're a funny guy, everyone likes you. I mean that you are able to have a deeper connection with the people in your life. If that's something that interests you, work on your conversational skills. I promise you, it can change your life. This has been Remy D. Smith. I want to talk about some of the inspirations I had that got me into looking into conversations and really understanding their power. I want to reference 3 books, the first of which being How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Second of which, Super Communicators by Charles Duhigg. And thirdly, Don't Say by Michael Chad Hoeppner. All 3 of these books are phenomenal tools for becoming a better conversationalist and understanding the why behind it. If you are interested in your own personal coaching on becoming it, reach out to me at premier.com or comment on this video. Thank you for your time.